talking about this guy right here, the brand new 2021 Yamaha Tenere 700. Now, when this bike was just released, I had an opportunity to spend about a month on the bike, and it is a phenomenal machine.
The Yamaha T7 up this little single track hill climb right here. Oh, he's losing steam. He's losing steam, guys. Get it, Travis, get it. Oh.
Hands down, the easiest to ride of any of the adventure bikes that I have ridden in the past. Now, I've got a full detailed breakdown video of me out there on the trails, on the road, putting this vehicle to the test. Again, I've got over a month's worth of riding time on it. I've ridden it all around Southern California. I've ridden it through Arizona. I've ridden it in Moab. I've ridden it all over the place, Death Valley. It's a phenomenal machine, and man, if you're on the waiting list for one of these, you are going to be stoked when it finally hits the door. Grab a cold beverage, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride.
Off the line, guys. So let's talk a little bit about this Yamaha Tenere 700, otherwise known as the T7. So starting off overall, $10,000 for a bike with this much capability is a great price. I really think they hit it out of the park. Now, there's a lot of things, small things that you could tweak on this bike from the factory that would make it better. But when it comes to other components such as the brakes work well, the engine pulls well, the seat's comfortable, the foot pegs are in a great position. I mean, overall, the bike is a very well put together machine. I mean, it's got the reliability of the MT-07 motor, so I mean, as far as that goes, this bike should be absolutely rock solid. Now, this bike does have a Krapovica pipe on it. It does not have stock exhaust, so it does sound a little bit more rumbly than the OEM, something to keep in mind. So the tachometer's coming to the side, and I'm starting to think that I'm getting close to redline, but the redline actually extends out and across over the top. Pretty interesting. I've got to say, right now, that first little pickup, everything seems really linear. It's not like it's sluggish at the beginning and then picks up. It's not like it picks up really fast and then dies off. What I'm feeling is a very linear power band. It's pretty cool. There's a little bit of vibration in the seat, but overall, let's go ahead and take this. But overall, the feel is just really, really buttery smooth. As far as suspension goes, this bike has stock suspension. All right, here we go. First freeway entrance. As far as first roll on, I mean, there's plenty of punch on this bike in order to get you up to freeway speed quickly. If I wanted to pass these cars and run into the next lane, if I grab a full handful of throttle, I've actually got some pretty ample pickup in order to be able to jump over and do that. So this bike does have ABS, it does not have traction control, it doesn't have any of the other crazy electronics that most of the adventure bikes out there in the marketplace have at the moment. And that, I'm going to say, is a benefit of this machine right here. The fact that it really is dependent on rider input in order to get you where you're going. Cruising 75 miles an hour, this thing feels super stable here on the freeway. Now, windscreen. So the windscreen, I am getting a little bit of buffeting on the very top of my helmet. And let me go ahead and feel this out real quick. So the wind's coming up and over. I have clean air all the way up until right here. So that's going to be just above the bridge of my nose. So right above my eyebrows is where that wind is coming up and over. And that dirty air is actually hitting the top of my helmet here. So I'm getting some noise inside the helmet because of that. So either a little winglet up there on the top, there's lots of companies that make those, that would probably allow that air to just kind of swoop up and over the helmet a little bit more. That would make the cockpit of this motorcycle just a little bit quieter. All right, so this is what it looks like in the cockpit of the T7 with the Touring National Cycle V-Stream windshield on it. We're getting up to 70 miles an hour. Now see up top here, let's see, I can come up. See, it's clear, a good 1.5 feet up over the top of my helmet. It's remarkable. Now with this particular shield, I am feeling a little bit of wind. So the wind coming up over the top is hitting the very top of my helmet here. I can actually hear the wind inside my helmet. You might be able to hear the wind as well. It's vibrating my shield just a little bit here on my helmet. Clean air out to the side. We've got nice clean air right out to this area right here. Same as the last shield, but here at the top, that dirty air is starting to hit right about here. So it's just skimming just above the top of my visor. So here we are getting onto this freeway, getting up to freeway speed here. My dirty air is starting right at the very edges of my shoulder. Now as I bring my hand up over to the top of my helmet, again it's right there, just above the eyebrows is when that wind starts to hit. We're getting off here. Again, this bike is super nimble. Last minute movements like that, I mean, the front of this bike is so light. If I had to say that's the biggest difference in feeling that I'm feeling on this versus an R1200 GS, my 950 Super Enduro, the Africa Twin even. Now the way that Yamaha's put this bike together, the way that front tire feels so light, it just feels like it just floats around up there. It is phenomenal as far as how easy this bike is to turn in. I mean, literally without even thinking about it, its bike just falls right over. The power on this bike is really interesting. So for example, right there, 4th gear, I was pinned full wide open as I came up over that crest. If I was on the 950 4th gear, pinned wide open to that crest, there's a good chance I could have looped that one out, at least lifted the front wheel a little bit. The power of this Yamaha, well, it's not lacking power at all in any stretch of the imagination. It is linear, it is predictable, and it is there when you need it. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and get this ABS turned off here real quick as we head into this off-road section. Now this road can be interesting. It can either be kind of smashed down like what we're seeing today, where the cars have come through here enough in order to smush those large rocks down into the ground and make for a nice easy rolling surface. And then other times, even after a hard rain or something like that, we're basically going to have really large river rocks kind of sitting all over the top. Makes it relatively difficult to ride on. 3rd gear, mid-throttle. It takes just a second after I twist the throttle in order for it to kick in and then be ready to rip. Bike feels amazing out here in the dirt. We can launch off little ledges like that. It's pretty much soaking everything up. For stock suspension, I mean, it's not amazing, but it's not bad at all. Alright, so now we're getting into some varied terrain. We got some off-camber stuff. It looks like we're going to get into some gravel. Turn the tire cameras back on again. Now we're going to get this T7 up here into the mountains. So I've ridden both my 950 Super Enduro and my 1190 Adventure R. Well, let me take that back. And even my BMW R1200 GS Adventure up here. And I gotta tell you, out of all 4 bikes, including the Super T, this bike is the easiest of all 4 to ride in this particular terrain. The 1190 was throwing down so much power that we were just on and off the throttle all the time. Right here, I'm keeping a pretty steady throttle. And what gear are we in? Second and 3rd gear, depending. Like the slow stuff I'm in 2nd, and then the faster stuff I was in 3rd. Just keep a moderate throttle on, and dude, this bike is just chugging through all of this stuff. it looks like the trail goes up this little creek bed here. Ugh. Dude, this bike is climbing so easy. Except the power and torque is right there. The power is not overbearing, and the torque is amazingly right there where you want it. So awesome. Stalled it for the first time, guys, but man, whew, amazing terrain. Tell you what, this on an R1200 GS Adventure would be a little bit technical. I mean, I'm a bit winded, and this bike is so easy to ride. It's amazing. And welcome to Moab, Utah. This is actually White Rim Road. And in front of me here is my buddy Chris on the long-awaited Yamaha Tenere T700. Now Chris actually owns a KTM 690 Enduro R, but today we're out here in Moab, Utah, spending some time out here at the national parks. So Chris rented this T700, and he says that it's an extremely easy bike to ride. He feels that the front end is lighter than that of the 690, and the overall off-road performance is pretty close. I mean, it's not quite as dirt-oriented as the 690. Oh, nice work, dude. But as you can see, the Tenere 700 really does perform well in off-road scenarios. So starting off overall, $10,000 for a bike with this much capability is a great price. I really think they hit it out of the park. Now, there's a lot of things, small things that you could tweak on this bike from the factory that would make it better. I think the mirrors aren't so nice. The wind guards, I'm going to call them, that they have as hand guards are flimsy plastic and have to be removed immediately. The stock bar I felt was okay. It was a bit high. It's in the correct spot for guys who put rocks riders on their bike. If that's how you like to ride your bike, then the stock bar will probably be great for you. As for grips go, swapping out to a softer aftermarket grip can really be beneficial. The stock grip is okay, but it is just a bit hard. But when it comes to other components such as the brakes work well, the engine pulls well, the seat's comfortable, the foot pegs are in a great position. I mean, overall, the bike is a very well put together machine. I mean, it's got the reliability of the MT-07. Alright, so I'm now riding a mountain road at nighttime, and we got a lot of corners, we got some elevation changes, and I gotta say that an improvement that Yamaha could make is the front end lighting. Now, they made the lighting look badass. If you look at the front of this bike, it just looks killer. But the actual functionality of this setup is not very good. Right now, my high beam is on, as you can see, is indicated by that blue light. This here is the low beam. I can basically see what, whoa, that was a nice squirrel running out in front of me. I can basically see just in front of the bike, like, I don't know, 20, 25 feet. And then everything is pitch black past that, just pitch black. It's horrible. Hit the high beam, and I do see some more up there, but not much to the left or to the right. It's basically just a beam that goes straight out. Not much flood there on this high beam. Definitely a lot of improvement could be made on the stock lighting. Interestingly enough, the average fuel mileage on this tank is 40.3 miles to gallon. It says right now I'm cruising down this road here, I'm getting 83.6. That's definitely eco mode, guys. This goes to show the extreme variance in fuel mileage. Now, if I go ahead and drop the gear and open the throttle, drop down to 16.5 miles to gallon. So it just really fluctuates a lot between whether your throttle's twisted, whether you're not, whether you're cruising. But hey, to an average fuel consumption of 40-something miles a gallon, that's pretty freaking cool.
And there you have it, guys. The 2021 Yamaha Tenere 700. This bike has taken the adventure market by storm and it is a phenomenal machine. When it comes to maintenance intervals, when it comes to seat height, when it comes to overall rideability, this Yamaha T7 definitely hits the ball out of the park. Anyway, I thank you guys for watching the video. If you have any questions at all, please leave a comment down below. If you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up button and that subscribe button and notification bell so you guys can be part of the notification squad. Until next time, and as always, take care and ride safe out there.